Thank you, Nancy and Sakal. Good morning, everyone. Let's now have a look at the top lines in the finance world. A crucial three-day GST Council meet to begin from today in the national capital. Council likely to take certain important decisions in the meet. Government keen to use the meet to make a deal with states so it can push the bill in the winter session of the parliament starting November 16th. ₹24 crore bank accounts opened so far under the Jan Dhan financial inclusion scheme. Finance Minister Arun Jaitley said 80% of the 24 crore new accounts, mostly opened by people from weaker sections, are now functional with cash balances. FM also said these 24 crore people have deposited 42,000 crore rupees in these accounts. Gold saving schemes under the SEBI scanner. SEBI is examining gold saving schemes offered by jewelers to check whether such offerings are flouting regulations on collective investment schemes. Industry experts say that some jewelers had tweaked older schemes that had put them in a spot with the regulator. Government debt securities yesterday attracted bids worth 9,458 crore rupees from foreign portfolio investors, as against 9,333 crores on offer in an online auction. Total investment in government debt had reached 1,38,667 crores, which is 93.69% of total permitted limit of 1.48 lakh crores. And as we were discussing, the crucial three-day meeting of the all-powerful GST Council will start today and will decide on the tax rate and sort out issues like compensation formula for the rollout of new indirect tax regime from April 1st, 2017. Let's take a look at this report.
The three-day GST Council will meet on Tuesday. The Council will decide a GST rate, the rate at which GST will be applied. This is for the third time that the GST Council is meeting. The last time it met was last month, where a number of issues were decided. Let's listen to Finance Minister Arun Jaitley, what he had to say back then when the GST Council met.
These 5 sets of rules were taken up for consideration, and all the 5 sets of rules have been approved. So we are in that sense in a state of readiness with subordinate legislation once the Act itself is approved.
During the last meet, the threshold for GST was decided. The threshold for GST is 20 lakh rupees. But for the northeast states and hilly states, it is 10 lakh rupees. The threshold level is the level at which GST will be implemented. The Finance Minister has said that all the issues related to GST should be decided by 22nd of November. The government plans to implement GST by 1st of April 2017.
Well, moving on to the market side, to begin with the US markets. In fact, the stocks finished lower yesterday as warnings about accelerating inflation coupled with crude oil trading below $50 per barrel. Of course, the turbulent earnings season in US is another major reason for the stocks being under pressure as investors had their eyes on corporate earnings. Dow Jones, S&P 500 and Nasdaq were all down by between 0.27 to 0.30%. Moving on to the European stocks, in fact, which slumped yesterday again, led by a pullback in oil shares as investors entered the trading week with the dollar sitting at a 7-month high, while they waited to hear what is next for the monetary policy at the European Central Bank. FTSE 100, German DAX, CAC 40, all were down. We can see that pressure of the crude oil as well on the European markets. And the Indian markets ended lower yesterday amid this weak global cues as investors turned cautious post the earnings from the IT majors like TCS and Infosys. The S&P BSE Sensex was down by almost around trading around 27,530, and Nifty ended at around 8,520. And then moving on to the Asian stocks, in fact, they have edged higher and the dollar consolidated the recent gains in the morning today. Through risk appetite was low as weak US markets prompted investors to stay on the sidelines. So Nikkei is up, and Hang Seng, Kospi and SGX Nifty is also showing some sort of positive trends after a long time, we can say, because the whole week last time was a volatile week for the Asian markets too, and then we were taking cues from the Asian markets. And the positivity at this moment is pretty much on a good note, and Indian markets are set to take these cues from the global markets. And that's all in the finance world. Once again, back to Sakal and Nancy.